Hello Nigeria, hello the world, hello from wherever you're watching from. This is the newspaper review here on TAP TV for today, the 6th day of October 2022. My name is Cyril Aloysius and I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me. And as always, looking at the papers with me today is Mr. Victor Sioku. You're very much welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
How
you
you
so
doing,
much.
bro?
I'm fine, I'm good. You're looking very good yourself.
Thank God.
So what do you make of the rains coming back? Because this past few days, the weather has been, I think, quite hot, very hot.
Yeah, I think it's the season, and it's quite interesting to note that Port Harcourt has not been flooded, just like the central part of the country that has been really dealt with. Not just even the central part, Anambra State in particular has also been dealt with respect to flood.
Yes, I think a man in his 70s was also found dead in his house, flooded as well, recently.
Such a pity.
Wow, that's a sad one. Okay, let's look first today. Just before I go straight into the papers, for those of you who do not know what this show is all about, well, like I said, this is the newspaper review, an interesting program where we get to talk on or review headlines in various papers across the nation. Okay, so you're very much welcome. If you're looking for where to get latest information on different papers, this is the right place to be. Okay, first we'll start with the Vanguard newspaper. And the headlines in the Vanguard here says on page 5, this one says, Okowa, Oshomole, clash over poll violence allegation. Okowa, Oshomole, clash over poll violence allegation. Okay, that details of that headline is on page 5 of the Vanguard. And on page 5 as well, we have APC. APC, we will determine when to flag off campaigns. That's according to Adamu. Adamu is saying on page 5, APC saying we will determine when to flag off campaigns. Adamu on page 5. And on page 9, we have strike. Strike. Appeal court task federal government, ASU, to resolve dispute over out of court. Appeal court task federal government, ASU, to resolve dispute out of court. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard. On page 7, we have terrorists release 23 remaining Abuja Kaduna train attack victims. Okay, that's some good news coming from page 7 of the Vanguard. I go again, terrorists release 23 remaining Abuja Kaduna train attack victims. That's on page 7. Some good news on page 7.
Yes.
On page 12, we have climate change. Climate change. NEDC sensitizes women on use of energy-efficient stoves. Climate change, NEDC sensitizes women on use of energy-efficient stoves on page 12 of the Vanguard. And on page 4, we have Anambra, yes, a 70-year-old found dead in his flooded bedroom. That's a very sad one on page 4 of the Vanguard. And on page 8, we have Catholic Church yet to decide on APC's same fate ticket. That's according to Cardinal Onayekan. Cardinal Onayekan is saying on page 8, Catholic Church yet to decide on APC's same fate ticket. And lastly, on page 8, we have Otedola'S Geregu Power PLC becomes first Genco to list on NGX. Or Otedola'S Geregu Power PLC becomes first Genco to list on NGX on page 8 of the Vanguard. Okay, that's the much you can take in the Vanguard today. Mr. Victor, which of these headlines would you like to react to?
Oh, let's talk about Oshomole and Okowa, talking about violence in the coming election. Okay. Yes, Okowa has been, kicked by Oshomole because of trying to support violence. That Oshomole is telling Okowa that, see, you guys are the ones, as in the PDP, are the ones gaining momentum with respect to violence for the election. And he also noted that AK-47 are being given to these thugs. How do they get these thugs? Okay. How do they get these guns if not politicians giving them the resources or even carrying the guns to give them? Okay.
And given how expensive these guns are,
Yes, an AK is
one
for-
of
an
one of them
AK
should be
is
over $1 million naira.
Yes, yes, an AK is
Over
over
a
a
million
million naira. So how do you expect, what I call them, charlatans and miscreants to get those kinds of guns? We are not even talking. The
Who
ones
aren't
we are
able
talking
to
about, we are not
who aren't
talking
able
about
to
the types
feed
of
at least
guns.
3 times a day most times.
Yes, yes. So, but that brings us to a whole lot of tension has started right now. It's brewing, and come to think of it, the Labour Party, yes, I will still talk about this. Now, the Labour Party, mind you, they started the campaign in quotes with rallies and walks and all that. Okay, but from the optics I'm seeing, from what is happening on our screens and the news we are getting from social media and all that, we find out that the APC are also formidable. They are coming out with their crowd. The other day, on Monday, women worked for the APC, the candidate of Governor Sanwo-Olu and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Sanwo-Olu for states, for Lagos State Guber candidate, and Tinubu for APC presidential candidate. They worked in their numbers. Same thing happened yesterday in Owerri, Imo State. If you see the numbers that came out for their rally for the APC in Imo State, it was just so wow for the party.
Is it surprising that such a multitude could come out for APC?
Yes, for Nigerians, because the buzz on social media is showing you that although some people are coming with their with their
Like,
talks,
you
that,
don't really
crowd,
expect.
they were paid. But my brother, even paying for that crowd, the crowd that I saw,
How
in
much do
Owerri,
you want to pay every one of those crowds?
Yes, you asked too. Yes, then what about the Bauchi that the PDP presidential candidate was in yesterday? He went to Bauchi to visit Bauchi. My brother, if you see crowd. But what does that also tell you? It tells you that Nigerians, number one, many Nigerians do not have jobs. Okay? And when they promise them these 2,000, 3,000, I'm not accusing any party of promising any money or giving out any money. Okay? Just like the video that we saw on Monday, after the walk for Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu, you now saw a group of women under a tree waiting. So people were like pointing at, the rally is over now. Why are you people still under a tree waiting? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for money? Those are assumptions, no two ways about that. But what I'm also trying to say is that, see, these three major forces, I'm sorry, I normally call them three major forces. I really do not think that the NNPP and the rest, YPP, ADC, they are not ready for this election, come presidential. They have their game.
But that's a fact. It's not like we are over-exaggerating or something.
Yes, it's about these three forces, okay? But we need to talk about the violence that might come out as the process goes on. Like the Obedient family, like the P2B candidate of the Labour Party has come out to say, see, our members, my supporters, were beaten. Some were arrested, release them. So things like this will happen. Even there are also reports saying that in Lagos, many Obedient, I call them the Obedient, well, they call themselves the Obedient. Many Obedient members were harassed by touts and all that. So, but that also, I want to also link it to the happenings in the world, okay? Recently, I found out, I did a little research. I found out that, see, in many countries, not just Nigeria, when it comes to elections, in many countries, especially countries like Nigeria, those middle to the low countries, you find out that there is a whole lot of tensions that come during elections. Look at Kenya, look at Ethiopia, okay? Even Ghana, that is just here. These things happen. Now it's now for our government to come out and downs this tension, because it's brewing, my brother. It's brewing. So they need to do something. Oshomole and Okowa, they are, yes, for me, I call them ranting, because they are the problems that we are facing today. They are part of the problems that we are facing today. Okay.
So do you really think it's just ranting? Don't you think it could go beyond ranting?
No, they should go beyond ranting. Okay. If they are, they should go out and fish out. They should go and hire private investigators to fish out people perpetrating this act and persons that are against this election, because there are people out there that are also against this election. Okay, people are out there plotting how to will I say dribble the system. Okay, so they should also save us all these rants and go down to the facts. Like the APC has been pushed currently. They have been pushed to release their manifesto because the PDP and the Labour Party both has somehow released their manifesto. APC is talking about where is people are talking about for APC. Where is their candidate? Somebody even posted the other day that their candidate is missing. Eh?
Yeah, it's Tinubu.
Okay, where is Tinubu? Okay, and I think I need to also say this. Okay, during the last election, the APC did not start their campaign on time. They started their campaign in January. Okay, of 2019. They started January.
Okay.
Going forward, yes, people will say they still they are the incumbent government and they still won, but they started so late. But at the end of the day, like they also say their spokesperson said that Keyamo said that they started late, but they started late, but they maintained the momentum. One thing is starting, just like Atiku also mentioned to the Labour guys. Say, see, people were just starting. Okay. We still have over 100 days to go. Are you sure you can maintain this momentum of campaign?
Okay.
Okay. Lastly, people should be mindful. We do not want troubles in this country. And that reminds me of this song, No More Wars, No More Troubles by Bob Marley. In fact, that is it's a unique song to me because that was the first music I played on the Apple Music Store. Okay. And not just that I played not just my own history with the song, but the song tells you that, see, these wars can be controlled. People like you and I need to come out and say, we don't want trouble. We don't want war. We want peace. So please, Nigerians, going down the lane in February 2023, we want peace. Candidates, people will occupy those positions. You do not need to kill yourself because your favorite candidate did not make it to the slot. We have a huge number of Nigerians and a huge number of voters that can sweep their candidates into these positions. Look at what is happening in Bauchi. People in the East, stop summarizing that, see, it is P2B, that if it's not P2B, that means that the election has been rigged. Look at the numbers that showed up in Bauchi for the PDP candidate. Look at even in Owerri, that is southeast, that is the strongest hold for P2B. Look at the numbers that came out yesterday for the APC.
Okay.
So please, we don't want wars, man.
Mr. Victor, it's also very necessary that you remind these persons perpetrating these crimes and taking up arms to kill themselves over the interest of these politicians, that the children of these politicians we are fighting for are not even in the country, first of all. They can't give these guns to their children to go fight for them. So they give it to you, who they believe and feel that they could actually brainwash to go and kill yourself for them, and then they end up enjoying. It doesn't make sense in any way. It doesn't make sense.
And Mr. Cyril, most of these politicians, if you go and check back right now, their families are not
in the country.
They've all been shipped out.
So as a person,
election,
as a young person out there watching this, you are aware that the elections are coming up next year. Please do your best to see that things go well. But whatever you do, do not carry arms for any politician, because it is not, I repeat, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. These politicians, in most cases, do not care about you. They don't care whether you live or die. Once you're gone, you are gone. Well, a word is enough for the wise, they say. Yes, No More Troubles by Bob Marley, right? Okay, let's move straight now to our next. Okay, let's move straight now to the Daily Sun, where headlines in Daily Sun here says on page 6, this one, 2023, INEC to deploy undercover security agents at polling units. Okay. Restates ban on use of mobile phones during voting. INEC to deploy Undercover security agents at polling units. Restates ban on use of mobile phones during voting. Okay, that's on page 6. And on page 6 as well, we have APC governors. NWC meeting deadlocked amid Adamu's warning. APC governors NWC meeting deadlocked amid Adamu's warning. That's on page 6. And on page 25, we have Kogi clamps down on Dangote's Obajana cement factory as company alleges shooting of workers. That's on page 25 of the Daily Sun. On page 8, we have my husband suffered long trauma from civil war, military coup, 40 months detention. That's according to Buhari's wife on page 8. Buhari's wife is saying on page 8, says, my husband suffered long trauma from civil war, military coup, and 40 months detention. Okay, you can get all the details on that headline on page 8 of Daily Sun. On page 27, we have 2023 budget. Senate opposes 1.7 trillion naira subsidy recommendation. Okay, that's on page 27 of Daily Sun. On page 4, we have Abia Gober. Court fixes October 7th for judgment in APC case. Okay, that's on page 4. And on page 6, we have 2023 poll. I won't vote for Muslim ticket. That's according to Onayekan on page 6. Onayekan is saying that he won't vote for Muslim ticket. Okay, that's on page 13. On page 13, we have presidency denies arrest. Intimidation of Obi supporters. Vows to arrest lawbreakers. That's on page 13. And on page 27, we have court hears ASU's appeal seeking stay of execution today. Court hears ASU's appeal seeking stay of execution today. That's on page 27. Lastly, on page 2, we have Otedola'S Geregu Power PLC becomes first power company to list on NGX. All right, that's the much we can take in the Daily Sun for today. Mr. Victor, how do you react to these headlines?
Okay, let's do Geregu.
Okay.
The Geregu plant, I think, is on every paper. Okay, and it's big history for Nigeria because Geregu is a generating company, a power generating company. Okay, it's been there since I think 2012, around 2012 or thereabouts. Okay, it's headquartered in Lagos. Okay, Lagos VI actually is the Water Carrington Avenue, which people I do not want to make so much. But people that know Water Carrington knows what I'm talking about. So and it has its facility, as in the Geregu plant itself is located in Ajaokuta. Okay. Now they use gas to power their turbines. They use gas turbines to generate electricity. So this company has been doing so well. And how did they get to grow to this level? They grew from a small business to a big business. They made big business to a bigger business because of what? One man was able to invest into the Genco. That's the Geregu plant. And that is Otedola. The real Femi Otedola. So, do I start with his background? Or do I go? Okay, let's talk more on the Geregu plant. Okay, now, the Geregu plant had to just recently applied for the NGS. The NGS, that's our Nigerian Stock Exchange, okay? So right now, you can go in there and buy a stock of Geregu. And what are the implications for you to enter into the Stock Exchange of Nigeria, which I have some private issues with the NGX because of my investment back in the days. Well, I just pray that the ills of the Nigerian Stock Exchange won't come back again to deal with this company. Okay? Not that I do not have faith in a stock exchange. I believe right
Just
now that we have we have better administrators right now, but people have lost millions, not billions of money. Reason because it was not well regulated, and they were a confusion being a confusion company that wrecked many Nigerians up to date. It was a good avenue to save money back in those days. Okay? And can you imagine? It's even better that you exchange your money back then to hard currencies than investing it into people's companies. Look at no, let me not start calling out these companies. But yes, for Geregu, Geregu was able to make the listing because they were able to cross their T's and dot their I's, because one, you need, for you to be for you to be listed, you must make sure that you are a company that is transparent. So NGS needs to see your papers, your biannual report, not just biannual, quarterly report, biannual and annual report. And it does not stop there. You must show corporate governance in your business. Okay? And just like I say, transparency must be up there, because they want to also know your numbers before you come out there to say you want visibility. Because joining NGS means that you are available for the world to throw in their monies to invest in your company. So NGS, I mean Geregu has done that, and it is also a good avenue for Nigeria to attract foreign investments. Okay, the plant has done so well, like I mentioned. They are constantly producing over 400 megawatts of power, and they've been there for years. And due to Otedola'S doggedness in doing business, the company has been growing from one level to the other. Okay, so I pray that from this, they were able to, just yesterday, they did over 10% profit by announcing that they've joined the listing. Okay, and their shares is about 100 naira. It grew to 110 naira just yesterday, and I just pray that it keeps growing, and the company itself should keep to being transparent and do good business, so that their investors, their stakeholders, can go home rejoicing. Now, to the person of Otedola, I also need to congratulate him, because he's a strong man. He's a fighter. He's a role model to many businessmen out there. Yes, there are also, in Nigerian business, when you go to that level, there are also accusations of either fraud or one bad thing or the other. Just like
maybe he's not getting his money legitly and stuff like that.
Yes. Okay. You are taking me back, but let me see if I can catch up. Now, back in the days, he started as an individual company. Okay, till he now got into oil. Okay, he started marketing oil. Okay, that he got some inputs, some contacts. The contacts have not been really released, but he got some contacts. I mean, investors. He was able to come together with them, and they were able to acquire structures. Oh, structure, I'm not talking about P2B structure here. They were able to acquire structures. They were structures like tankers, like tank farms, like vessels. Okay. And they were doing so well. They were doing so well that they were the major distributor of diesel in this country. I'm talking about 2002, 2003. They were the major distributors of diesel. They were distributing diesel to MTN, the likes of MTN, to the likes of Zenith Bank, UBA Bank, to the extent that while distributing this diesel, they were making so much money that they were highest shareholders. Okay, I mean his conglomerate, highest shareholders in Zenith Bank, and they even bought a whole lot of stake from UBA. So how can you just be a businessman trading in, as in oil marketer? Just bring it down to an oil marketer. He was an oil marketer, but he was able to build his business. Yes, like I said, some maybe sometimes they call it angel or devilish investors came in without revealing their identity. Okay. Many a times people say that the government of then really used his company to build funds for themselves. Okay, but that is not why we are here. But let me also tell you, in terms of character, maybe I'm not talking too many politics today, but yes, maybe about his character, maybe about his person. Because one thing is sure, people will only give you money when they trust you. Okay. A thief, a criminal, a kidnapper can only give you money to keep for him only if he trusts you. So I think that man has built, as in Otedola has built capacity in that aspect of trust.
Earning the trust of people.
Earning the trust of people, of his investors.
Okay.
That before you know it, he was able to buy out AP, that's African Petroleum. African Petroleum was doing so well. They were doing so well. He bought them, changed the name to Fort Oil. Okay, from Fort Oil. Okay, during the Fort Oil time, if you can remember, I don't know whether you were there, when there was this tax or levy that was on their head, together with subsidy. They tagged some kind of subsidy fraud that happened back in those days. That the money was so high, about $1,500,000. That's $1.5 million. That was on their neck that they needed to pay. If you remember back in those days, there was a man called Farouk Lawan.
Are you sure I was born then?
No, you were born now. I'm talking about 2007.
Okay, yeah.
Farouk Lawan was the head of the committee that was charged by the House of Representatives of that time to go and get that money from the Otedola'S company. Do you know what happened?
No.
Farouk Lawan was filmed when he was asking for a bribe of 500,000 to delist Otedola from that, from paying $1.5 million. So he was demanding $500,000 to clean up $1.5 million, and he was caught on camera. And you know what? Yes, he was charged, but before you know it, the case was out.
Swept under the carpet.
So, but you know, so by the time, man, we are not talking history here, but by the time Otedola was able to handle, he handled his Fort Oil company. Look at, go out there. Fort Oil was one of the biggest and most lucrative oil marketing company in this country. Until he had to now sell the shares. The name was now changed to Adova. Yes, they are still there with naming them Fort Oil, but the real company owners now are Adova. Now, he was able also to use the money, and he was done with oil business. Okay? But I know one way or the other, a businessman is a businessman. One way or the other, he might still be doing little oil businesses. But he has now fully moved into power, which he bought Geregu about 5 years ago or thereabouts. And look at what is happening. He is growing the company. And that is to tell you that Otedola, come rain, come sunshine, he is a top businessman, just like the Aliko Dangote of this country. So congratulations to him, congratulations to Geregu. Congratulations to our beloved Nigerian stock exchange. Okay? I just pray they should handle this company very well, because I still have beef with them. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, big congratulations to Otedola and Geregu company. Mr. Victor, whatever beef you have, please try and get it off your mind, because I don't think Otedola is going to shake one bit because of the beef. Okay, and moving straight now to the nation. Just before we do that, we'll go on a quick break. And when we return, more news, more headlines for you. Just stay tuned.
Now that you have registered for your PVC, it doesn't stop there. Ensure you pick up your PVC. Be alert. Join many Nigerians to vote credible leaders that will change the tide of this nation. Do not sell your vote. Remember, this is our future. Your vote is your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited.
Okay, you're welcome back from that short break, and taking a look at the Nation newspaper now. Headlines in the Nation here says, APC NWC governors, PCC members unite for Tinubu. APC NWC governors, PCC members unite for Tinubu. Okay. Another interesting headline here says, how parties can substitute candidates by INEC. How parties can substitute candidates by INEC. Okay. And next on page 5, we have SANS, S-A-N-S, SANS urge presidents to swear in acting CJN Ariwola. That's on page 5, okay? SANS urge president to swear in acting CJN Ariwola. That's on page 5. On page 3, we have suspects held at Ogun, Oyo border. Suspects held at Ogun or your border. Okay, that's on page 3. And on page 26, we have Buhari promises to restore teachers' pride. Buhari promises to restore teachers' pride. That's on page 26. On page 2, we have Army Court Marshals. Army Court Marshals 68 officers, soldiers. Army Court Marshals 68 officers, soldiers. On page 3, we have Hush Puppy faces 11 years in jail. Hush Puppy faces 11 years in jail. That's on page 3. And on page 3 as well, we have Lagos to riverine communities. Quit over flooding. That's on page 3. Lagos to riverine communities. Quit over flooding. That's on page 3 of The Nation. On page 28, we have 23 remaining Abuja Kaduna train abductees freed. That's on page 28. And on page 5, we have 3 scientists win Nobel Prize in chemistry. 3 scientists win Nobel Prize in chemistry. That's on page 5. And lastly, on page 5 as well, we have detractors of PDP will be disappointed, says Ayu. Detractors of PDP will be disappointed, says Ayu, on page 5 of The Nation. Okay, that's the much we can take in The Nation for today. Mr. Victor, how do you react to the headlines in The Nation?
Okay, I would like to talk about the freed kidnapped victim, the 23 remaining kidnapped victims.
That's good news.
Yes, but I also, from the point of science, I want to congratulate the Nobel Prize winners for chemistry. Okay, I believe by the end of the week, we should be knowing the Nobel Peace Prize winner. Okay, so congrats to them, both physics, mathematics, biology, medicine, and literature. Okay, so I hope I do not know who I'm going to point out will win that of literature, but as the day unfolds, we shall know. So for the freed kidnapped victims, I need to thank God. I don't want to thank the military with what is happening right now. They have been really tanked, both from the presidency to the spokesperson to almost everybody down to the family. They've been thanking the military, and unfortunately, we do not know how this release happened. Okay, we really do not know. Yes,
what led to
it might be intelligent information. It might be information privy just for the government to know. Okay, but I am also disappointed. Why am I disappointed? Because this should not have stayed for 60 days. Sorry, did I say 60 days? 6 months rather. Okay, so thanks to God that they've been released. The new question now is, how do we now make our rail get back to work, the rail system?
Probably more secure.
Abuja, and more secure.
More secure.
You got it all right. More secure. So that things like this will not happen. They said they were intelligence report beforehand what happened. So these are questions that we need to ask, go back to the drawing board, and make sure that this does not repeat itself. And not just about Kaduna, Abuja. Nigeria is boiling. So the military should come out and defend our flag. Please. Okay. Lastly, I do not know, we've not heard anything about the negotiator that was arrested in Egypt. Okay, that's the negotiator that negotiated some of these releases.
Yes.
Okay, but I just pray that he should be tried. If he's going to trial, he should be tried appropriately and let the truth be visible for everybody to know. Okay. Lastly, congratulations, should I say congratulations, or thanks be to God that the lady that one of the kidnapper wanted to force into marriage finally was released.
Okay.
Hallelujah, that Lee Shayugu did not happen to the lady. Okay. And Chibok did not also happen to the lady. So praise be to God.
Praise be to God indeed, because only God knows what would have happened if she had said yes, she have agreed, and then they went ahead with the marriage. She would have, if by now she would have, like you said, Chibok would have happened to her. Okay, Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for your time. I really appreciate you stopping by once again. And my wonderful viewers, thank you so much for staying faithful to your screen. Thank you so, so much. Without you, we would not be here. Myself and my guest, wonderful guest, would not be here. And this is where we have to say, draw the curtain on the program for today. It's been an amazing time, but unfortunately, this is the end of the road. Okay, see you once again some other time. My name is Cyril Aloysius. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow us on all social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at TAFTV_NG. On Facebook, we're at TAFTV. On Twitter, we're at TAFTV. And on YouTube, we're at TAFTV. Please do well to follow us on all social media platforms, okay? Thank you so much once again. Until we come your way again next time, have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye for now.